Welcome back to the channel. It's your boy, Mr. It's Too Easy, and we back at it again. I call this show Kiss It or Dismiss It. If it's your first time here, what we like to do is we like to go to TikTok and grab a whole bunch of TikTok videos and just give our own opinion, whether we believe them or not. If we believe the information as a TikTok guide, we go ahead and kiss that thing, you know what I'm saying? But if we think they're pulling our leg, you know, not passing the smell test, we're gonna go ahead and dismiss that thing, you know. If you like the information, you like the content, you're enjoying the show, man, please hit that thumbs up, man. Leave some comments down below. Share the video. Please share the video, you know. I got a whole bunch of videos on deck as usual. And, you know, we just got to set the mood. Can't do it in all this bright light, you know. That's not going to do well, you know what I'm saying? So you already know what that means, right? You know, if it's your first time here, you're going to find out right now. So we're going to set the mood. Got the lights down low. Got the headphones on, got the volume up loud, got a whole bunch of TikTok videos ready to go, and let's get this thing started.
So apparently one of the biggest secrets the government's ever had, according to Lieutenant Colonel Greg Renrich, who worked in deep underground military bases, is that he had to sign an NDA, a non-disclosure agreement, to not use the word Jesus Christ while he was down here, because he saw 10 to 15 to 20 foot tall Nephilim down there. Nephilim, whatever you want to call it. And they said that if you say Jesus Christ around them, they will like basically spontaneously combust. That's what he was reporting to another podcast. Now, do you believe this? Because there was another story report that there was a book that Bob Lazar saw that reported that this book was the most important finding that they ever had. And this book basically said that the aliens made up this story, made up religion. So if they made up religion, how could Jesus' name be spontaneously combusting these people and him having to sign an NDA against them? Other people state that when they invoke the name Jesus Christ, that it stops alien abductions in their tracks. So what's the truth? It seems like something that a lot of whistleblowers are saying. So what do you think? Put your comment in the comment section. Let's have a conversation.
I don't believe it. Don't believe it.
They say the United States government mastered time travel over 50 years ago and used children as test subjects.
Oh, Jesus.
In the late 1960s, a secret DARPA program called Project Pegasus allegedly created teleportation chambers powered by Nikola Tesla's stolen blueprints. Whistleblower Andrew Basiago claims he was only 6 years old when he stepped inside one, vanishing from a lab in New Jersey and reappearing at the Gettysburg Address in 1863. He says he's seen the year 2045, walked on Mars, and that the technology was powered by something called a chronovisor, a device that could bend space-time, eerily similar to real physics concepts like wormholes and quantum entanglement. But here's the chilling part. Basiago claims this technology is not only real, it's already being used to preview future wars, influence elections, and quietly rewrite history before it ever happens. If that's true, then our present isn't ours at all. What if the timeline we know is just one version they allowed us to see?
I mean, I believe.
How many other realities were erased before they could ever be lived?
No.
Follow for more hidden history they don't want you to know.
Good luck.
There's this 23-year-old kid named Rafael Perez, and he's out of this airport in Chimalacán, Mexico. And this kid, he's gonna fly on his own for the first time. So he takes off at 9:15 a.m. And right away he notices that it's very foggy. So he really has not really a good sense of where he is. He can't quite find the airport. And so he tries calling in with a radio. He doesn't really hear back from them. It's sort of garbled static. So he takes the yoke and he tries to bank the airplane left, but the airplane doesn't go left. It just continues flying in a straight line. The plane begins to climb, and he's not making the plane climb. The plane is climbing on its own. There was like this huge cloud that he was basically flying into. He can't see anything, and he passes out. He wakes up in the cockpit, has no idea how long he's been asleep for, but he's immediately shocked that, holy cow, I did not crash the plane. He also looks out the window, and there's no more mist or fog. It's actually just the open ocean underneath him. And he looks at his clock and it says 11:30. Took off at 9:15. It's below 3 hours. The amount of time that has transpired that apparently I was asleep for is not enough time for me to arrive over any body of water. In addition to that, he looks at his gas gauge and it's at 3/4 tank. And he knew that not only is that way too high, but he wouldn't have had enough gas to reach any water body. And as he's coming to like, what's happening here, somebody chimes in over the radio and goes, hey, are you there? And he grabs this radio and he's like, hey, I fell asleep in my plane. I don't know where I am. And the guy on the other end, he's like, hey, this is Carlos. Are you alone in your airplane? And Raphael's like, of course I'm alone. Where am I? And Carlos is like, listen, you're just off the coast of Acapulco. And for the last hour, you've been flying out over the water. He arrived off the coast of Acapulco now an hour earlier. It takes 3 hours to get there. He apparently did it in about an hour and 15 minutes. He lands at the airport in Acapulco. And as soon as he gets off, there's these people in suits that are there to meet him. And they immediately take him and they drive him to a hospital. They drug test him. He's not on drugs. And they also have a psychologist come in and they give him a profile, make sure he's sane, and she determines that he is. And so finally they say, okay, we're gonna tell you what happened. When you showed up off the coast of Acapulco, you showed up on the radar screen of who you were talking to. And he talked to you for an hour while you were out over the water, and it was recorded. And I'm gonna read to you the first thing that Raphael said to Carlos. The pilot is speaking, but not of his own free will. We are using him as a microphone. Your equipment is too primitive. It is not important who we are or where we come from, only that we are inhabitants of the same universe. For the next 30 to 45 minutes, the voice being projected through Raphael talked about humanity is the only intelligent species in the entire universe that uses warfare and conducts violence on each other, and you are poised for a nuclear holocaust, and you may be exterminated if this continues. And then at about 11:30, Raphael wakes up. No one has any idea how Raphael wound up over the coast, and the Mexican government quickly took this story, buried it, and now you can only access it in this obscure library in Mexico.
Is there an underground city only available for the rich and elite if the world ends? People are
I
losing
believe
their
that
minds after this New
somewhere.
York Post article was released earlier this week. Catherine Austin Fitts, who was a former Assistant Secretary of Housing and Urban Development for Bush, says that there are over 170 of these bases all around the world and they're connected. This allegedly cost $21 trillion to build. And according to her, some of these are deep beneath the ocean, others are under land across the US. And remember that conspiracy theory where there are underground tunnels for people in LA and it's only available for celebrities and there's a Starbucks? Well, all of these cities are allegedly linked by underground hidden transportation systems, maybe these tunnels, and they're using technology that the public supposedly doesn't know exists. She also claims that this massive project was allegedly funded by trillions of dollars that went missing from the federal budget, money that still hasn't been explained. Now, to be clear, none of this has been proven, but these claims are definitely controversial.
I mean,
They've gotten attention,
I believe
especially
there's
because we
cities
literally know
underground,
that the U.S.
because-
has built underground bunkers. There's one under a resort in West Virginia. It was secretly designed to hold the Congress during the Cold War in case they needed to hide in secret. But
Main
here's where
Denver
things get even
Airport, all that
weirder.
stuff.
On September 10th, 2001, so literally the day before the horrible Twin Towers tragedy, Secretary of Defense Donald Rumsfeld publicly stated that the Pentagon couldn't track $2.3 trillion in spending. And then, literally the next day, one day later, the 9/11 tragedy happened and the story was completely overshadowed. Could that missing money, though, have funded these underground projects? There's no way to be sure. This is just a conspiracy theory. But maybe we're not being
believe
told
it,
something.
but-
I mean, this is a rabbit hole people still
The
talk about more
government-
than 20 years later.
Hey, let's get some ice cream.
How about this one? Pistachio, almond fruit fudge, butterscotch delight.
Ingredients: zinc trisodium aspartate, sorbitol and bisulfate, oxide
What in the
beta carotene, lactic acid carabine.
Okay.
Grade A milk emulsified, maltodextrin alkylide, silicon dioxide, lots of sugar. Hey, all right. Calcified synthetic salt, artificial barley malt, glycerin and aspartate, folic acid. That tastes great. Monosodium glutamate, dehydrated calciumate, soybean oil, butter fat, caramel sensor. I'll eat that. Hooray for sugar, cause we love it. Chocolate chips, we want more of it. Cakes and ice cream, want to shove it down our throats real fast. Here's a candy bar, you tried it? Hey, let's all see what's inside it. Gelatin, nitroglycerin,
not-
phosphate, soybean, lecithin, deoxylite, trisilicon, dipped in chocolate. Bring it on! Citrus enzymes, BHT, powdered milk. Sounds good to me. Baking soda, carob gum, carbohydrates. Yummy, yum! Monosodium glutamate, zinc disodium alginate, whole grain flour, yeast, and fat.
God.
Time to eat it. I'll do that.
And we eat it.
We like sweets a lot, so give us all you got, and we'll stuff them in our bodies till they make our insides rot.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Believe why all compasses point to the north. Don't miss the latest revelation. You will be shocked. Forget Everest. The tallest mountain on Earth is Rupes Nigris, a black rock composed of magnetic rocks, a secret that the world must not know. Science and the media deliberately hide it. Why? Because if the world knew that such an enormous mountain exists at the center of the Earth, it would change the course of history and destroy the theory of the Earth being a globe. This mountain is located at the center of the North Pole, and it is also the center of the Earth's magnetic field. It is so tall that its peaks reach the clouds. Observe how the wind is blocked by its immense size. It is said to measure over 100 kilometers in height and 64 kilometers in diameter. This could explain why all compasses point to this location. And the strangest thing is that the most powerful company in the world, BlackRock, bears the name of this mountain. Is it a mere coincidence? Or has this name been deliberately chosen by the global elites who have planned everything?
Puffy is in jail because he sued Diageo Liquor Company, one of the most powerful liquor companies in the world. He sued them and forced them to settle out of court, and he also started a Black Force political party. Jay-Z is going through this because Jay-Z also sued a liquor company, if I'm not mistaken, and he's trying to open up a casino in New York City. He'll be the first black man to ever do it. Michael Jackson died because he didn't want to sell Sony Records back, his ownership of the Beatles music. He also wanted to buy Marvel Comics.
Didn't know that.
He got accused of molesting the white boys. So when he entered a bid for Marvel Comics, Mike got accused of molestation to stop him from getting Marvel Comics. Imagine if Michael Jackson produced Black Panther. Whitney Houston is dead because Whitney Houston wanted her masters back. She wanted her publishing. And she also wanted to do an audit on her royalty because she felt that she had gotten robbed out of all the money that she made. Remember, Whitney Houston, up until Mariah Carey, was the highest selling female artist of all time. And her song, the remix of I Will Always Love You, is the highest selling female single in world history. And she was broke. She had to die before the truth came out. Prince was murdered because he didn't want to give his unpublished music over to his music company. So they took his life, and now they got all his music. Nipsey Hussle had created some sort of a system where the artists could sell their music direct to the company and cut out the majors. And that was definitely a threat to the music company. Kobe Bryant was murdered because Kobe Bryant was starting his own sneaker brand that was going to compete with Nike, and he was starting his own professional basketball association that was going to be headquartered where? China. He had to die. America was not going to let Kobe Bryant start a professional basketball league in China. Hell no. And Nike wasn't going to let him come out with a pair of sneakers that was going to undermine Nike's authority over the sneaker game. They killed Kobe. They killed Jimi Hendrix, the black guitar player, because Jimi Hendrix's manager was a British Secret Service agent, and Jimi Hendrix was going to finance the Black Panther Party. Once they found that out, he died, just like Whitney Houston, from a so-called drug overdose in the bathtub in the hotel. It's never what you think it is. It's never what you think it is.
Don't breathe through your lungs. You only breathe when the oxygen's in the blood. You breathe through your blood, not through your lungs. That's part of our miseducation. Because we actually think we hear with our ears. You hear with your brain. The sound is picked up and put in the blood, and the blood takes it to the brain, and the brain hears. You hear with your brain, you see with your brain, you touch with your brain, you taste with your brain. So we got that's part of our miseducation I was telling you about. The organ that takes the most oxygen is your brain. So when you're starving for oxygen, your brain's starving for oxygen.
Interesting.
And the brain says, I'm starving.
I'll
I
rock
need more
with
nutrients,
it
so
for
it's not
now.
going to step up the estrogen, because estrogen holds moisture and nutrients. So it's
I'll
going to
rock
throw your
with it.
hormone level off.
I decoded the Matrix so you don't have to. You think Neo was the one to break the Matrix? Nah, that's what they wanted you to believe. The Oracle broke the Matrix, and she was the one. And she did it by lying with a straight face, baking cookies, and setting the man on fire with his own ambition and his own purpose. The Oracle always served as a flame of divine chaos, divine feminine wisdom. And Neo was just the match that she chose to strike. While Neo was too busy flying high enjoying his power, she was playing 5D chess with fate. Straight up, the machines built the Matrix. She built the exit. She didn't believe in fate because she understood that the real red pill was choice. So what she told Neo was not the truth. It was a trigger. And quote, you are not the one. Now, when you think about cookies on your phone or your computer, right, this is a part of coding. So she needed to access. He had to choose to eat the cookie so she can enter his program and then rewrite his predetermined fate. Neo was essentially always just a virus. He was there to what? Destroy the Matrix. Well, if the Matrix is a machine and a simulation, an artificial reality, but it's also real,
I'm with that.
then the one coming to destroy it all is literally just a virus.
I love to come across
The
one of
Oracle
these.
was never just a side character. She's the architect of awakening. And Neo was just the last domino to fall.
Wow.
Candy?
Ooh, back to back.
Do you already know if I'm going to take it?
Wouldn't be much of an oracle if I didn't.
But if you already know, how can I make a choice?
Because you didn't come here to make the choice. You've already made it. You're here to try to understand why you made it.
One of my favorite movies.
I thought you'd have figured that out by now.
Why are you here?
Same reason. I love candy.
I should get the red pill.
Why help us?
We're all here to do what we're all here to do. I'm interested in one thing, Neo, the future. And believe me, I know the only way to get there is together.
Are there other programs like you?
Oh, not like me, but... Look, see those birds? At some point, a program was written to govern them. A program was written to watch over the trees, and the wind, sunrise and sunset. There are programs running all over the place. The ones doing their job, doing what they were meant to do, are invisible. You never even know they were here. But the other ones, well, you hear about them all the time.
I've never heard.
Exactly.
Every time you've heard someone say they saw a ghost or an angel. Every story you've ever heard about vampires, werewolves, or aliens is the system assimilating some program that's doing something they're not supposed to be doing.
That's deep, man.
Why?
Well, there are reasons, but usually a program chooses exile when it faces deletion.
My favorite movie ever.
And why would a program be deleted?
Maybe it breaks down. Maybe a better program is created to replace it. Happens all the time. And when it does, a program can either choose to hide here or return to the source.
The machine mainframe.
Yeah. Where you must go. Where the path of the one ends.
Let me tell you this ultimate truth. But before that, I gotta say this, for entertainment only. Not a fact, not advice. All right? Now listen. We've been at war, a war so old your history books don't even whisper it. Not over land, not over money, over energy, over soul light. And Earth, it ain't some floating ball in endless space. It's a sealed dome, a closed world, a trap. Forget rockets, forget aliens and silver ships. You can't leave. We are locked in, bound by forces deeper than gravity. What you call aliens, they're not from outer space. They're already here, always have been. And this ain't science fiction. This is an interdimensional war, a spiritual bloodbath. The Dark Ones, they call them the Leviathan, shadows wearing skin. They run your food, your schools, your screens. They run your kings and your CEOs. They built this cage and handed you a screen to keep you smiling inside it. Your sadness, your anger, your fear, they eat that. They took your DNA, split it, twisted it. Long ago. There were 12 strands once tied to ancient beings. The Anunnaki, Lyrans, Pleiadians, Reptilians. You've heard the names whispered in myths.
Yes.
It's real, all of it. Your soul's bloodline remembers. That's why you're waking up. Every war, every lie, every miracle cure, all meant to keep you slow, numb, dull, so you never remember. But some of us, we came back, born into human flesh, beings of light, carriers of memory. That's why they fear the awakening, because once the light activates, the dark can't hide. Even Christ, he wasn't just a man. He was the brightest flame the light ever sent here. Born with full memory, full power, and that's why they killed him. Not for peace, for silence, to bury the real war under books, churches, and bedtime prayers. And this CEO they just took out, Thompson, he wasn't just a guy in a suit. He was a vessel, one of their own. The Leviathan lost a general. That's why they're scrambling. They can't stop the change. The treaties are broken. The masks are falling. What you call reality is just a prison made of frequency. Low, sick, draining. But once you raise yours, see past the static you remember. You remember who you are, why you're here, what you're meant to do. This isn't a story. It's the last truth. And once you wear those magic glasses, once you see it, you can never unsee
the Matrix. Whoo! And that's it. Man, you made it to the end of the video, man. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope I provided you some good information, some things to think about, you know. And if you have some opinions, you know, whether you like the information or you have some videos that you thought that I may should have put a kiss or dismiss, leave it down below, man. And until next time, I will see you later. It's your boy, Mr. It's Too Easy, and I'm out. Have a nice weekend. Peace.